Mechanical keyboards are something that I'm fairly picky about. The experience of using one comes a lot down to just personal preference, and while there are objectively good and bad sort of features and designs, the subjective experience often overshadows, well, all of those points. I'm generally also not one for shaming people for their preferences. If you genuinely enjoy using, say, a £10 membrane keyboard, then more power to you. But this, the Ducky One 3 Mini, this is undeniably one of, if not the best mechanical keyboard that I have used, full stop. It's not jam-packed full of features like the Wooting Two is, but as far as a premium quality, everyday use board, this is just phenomenal. The One 3 comes in 4 sizes. I have the smallest 60% style here, the sort of, well, mini, although you can get it in a 65%, TKL or full-size layout if you would prefer. It equally comes in 4 colour schemes too. This is the Daybreak version, although you can get it in full-on yellow, Fuji or matcha if you'd prefer. All of the options feature hot swappable key switches, which by default you can pick from a selection of Cherry MX switches, although as far as I'm aware, any Cherry style switch with the same sort of pin layout should fit in here just fine, so if you want to switch that out yourself, feel free. It even comes with Ducky branded key switch and cap pullers in the box, alongside the detachable USB-C cable with this incredibly cute sort of Ducky silicon cable tie, and a collection of spare key switches if you want to change up the sort of colorway and layout just in the box. It's nice little details like that that make this feel like a genuinely premium product. Now, I have the Cherry MX Black switches, a switch that I've managed to personally miss out on until now. These are the newer 100 million keystroke lifespan versions too, and I must admit that I'm really kind of liking them. Normally I can't stand linear switches, and I don't know that these have converted me, but well, the combination of the genuinely premium feeling keycaps, the solid build quality, and the incredibly soft typing feel from Ducky's special sauce make me really enjoy these for both typing and gaming. That special sauce I mentioned here is actually really rather impressive, but to understand why, well, I think you'll have to hear it or listen to it first, so here goes. See what I mean? It's practically silent. It has a nice, somewhat gentle tactile click to it. Not loud enough to register to anyone else, and probably not even on a mic if you were streaming, but enough for you to enjoy while you're typing away. The silence, of course, does come in part thanks to those linear switches. Even the black magic in here won't silence a, say, blue style switch, but it should go a long way to making it not sounding like a cheap clack as you type away. The premium sound, and actually premium feel too, comes from Ducky's use of both an EVA foam pad under the PCB and what they call Q-bounce pads built into the PCB. They are made from apparently 17 different types of rubber and act as a sort of cushion for the switches, both to dampen the typing force and to quieten the switches. These combine into the most quality feeling typing experience I think I've ever had. It's hard for me to really put into words just how good this feels, but I'll say this. It's gonna be real hard for me to switch back to my standard keyboard. The double shot PBT keycaps definitely help that feeling too, with their slight sort of frosted texture giving even sweaty hands a decent amount of grip without being actively coarse and uncomfortable. They are using a very legible font, which is nice, although they do have sort of ninja printing for the secondary functions, especially on this fairly small 60% layout. The only note that I have here is that these keycaps unfortunately don't have any level of transparency to the key themselves. So while the board does have RGB backlighting behind the keys, you only get sort of side lighting around the keys rather than actual backlighting, which means that you can't really see what you're doing overly well in the dark. It's a little less user-friendly than perhaps I would like. Personally, I'm not too bothered, but especially with this being a 60% board, and especially during that sort of learning period where you're still getting used to especially those sort of ninja printed functions, it could be nice for some of those to be semi-transparent, but I know, I'll take what I can get. Speaking of the layouts, like I said, this is the 60% board, although you can get it in what they call a 65% board, which is basically the exact same layout as this, except there is an extra single row of keys on the right side, which allows the arrow keys to get their own dedicated keys, as well as delete page up and page down. I think that's probably the better option for me personally. I wouldn't mind a single extra row of keys to have those dedicated arrow keys available, although personally, you know, my preference would still probably edge towards at least the TKL, if not the full-size option, but, well, I mean, I can always pick those up as well, so well, maybe why not? Of course, playing games on this is a perfectly enjoyable experience. I do actually quite like linear switches for gaming. They make me feel just a little bit lighter on my digital feet, a little faster to react, more of a hair trigger. I guess I feel a bit more like a pro gamer, at least for the first few seconds until I actually see an enemy and get absolutely wasted. Anyway, the keyboard itself is great, even if its user maybe isn't. And of course, if you don't end up liking whatever Cherry MX switch you buy it with, or like anyone who gets into mechanical keyboards, end up spending weeks hand looping your switch of choice, then you can just swap all of these out and without any tools that don't come literally in the box. I think that's a really nice sort of touch, especially considering that means this is going to be something that can, you know, last a fair while, be a sort of buy it for life type product, and so that's definitely a good sign for me. It's definitely not cheap as a keyboard, but honestly, I don't think the price tag is too bad, especially considering a number of the sort of big name brand options are selling for anywhere between £150 and £250. So the between 120 and 173 for the full size board doesn't end up feeling too bad, and considering how premium this feels and how replaceable everything is and therefore upgradable and sort of long lasting, I don't think that's too bad of a deal. So in short, I really like this keyboard. It's legitimately exceeded my expectations and feels like a truly premium typing experience. While the layout might not quite be my my daily driver, this might actually make its way into my sort of travel bag, because hot damn, I like this a lot. I can't explain just how much I like it, and if you have a chance to try one of these somewhere, I highly recommend it. As always, I will be leaving an affiliate link in the description to it, specifically to OverclockersUK, who are the ones who provided the keyboard for me to take a look at, and I can definitely recommend this. If you can afford this sort of class of board, definitely give this a look the next time you're shopping for a new keyboard. With that said, those are my thoughts, and of course with a mechanical keyboard, like I said at the start, a lot of it is subjective, so I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your preferences when it comes to mechanical keyboards? Is something like this something you would pick up, or would you go with the full-size option instead? Or do you care more about some of the extra features that you get on something like a Corsair board, or maybe the Wooting boards as well? Feel free to let me know in those comments down below. If you want to see more videos from me, you can check out that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification icon. Of course, there's plenty of other videos that will pop up in the end cards in a second as well. And there are plenty of ways to support the channel if you want to keep me making these videos and kind of gushing over my favorite products and hating on my least ones. If you want to support the channel, you can do so through YouTube itself and become a YouTube member, get some cool rewards for doing so, or you can support on Patreon instead if you would rather. You can also pick up a hoodie or t-shirt like this one, or a load of other designs that I made myself, or there's also stuff like OverclockersUK affiliate links, both to this keyboard and in general, that's in the description that you can check out. Otherwise, that's kind of it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.